Okay, yes, we are live, and let me actually change my camera. Oh my God, Jesus!
What'd you break?
Just spilled some stuff. Hold on a second. Oh, good way to start the show, huh? All right. Well, hold on. Let me get this. I gotta. Geez, let's clean the bottom of this laptop real quick.
Yeah, you never want to get all that stuff in the laptop.
All right, I got it. Okay. Let's see here. Sorry about that. A little rough start. Breaking things. Felt a little too close to the screen there. We're good. Okay, and we're live. Okay, so we are here today, guys, with Fight the Flat Earth. You like to be referred to as Flight, right?
Yeah, most people seem to be calling me Fight. Yeah.
All right, awesome. So I guess, I really want to hear the backstory about what made you decide, okay, you know what, there's these flat earth guys out there, and they appear to be a little uneducated. I'm just going to go help them out. And it seems like you're helping them out pretty heavily.
So I seem to be making a lot of friends. That's
yes. You do seem to be making a lot of friends. That is the truth. I'm curious, which one is your favorite friend?
Oh, which one is my favorite friend? Out of all the ones that have made videos about me, I think Scotty Storm's my favorite because he seems to make videos at me when he's naked for some reason, which is hilarious.
I've actually seen some of that. That was hilarious. There's been a couple guys in the last 2 years that just for some reason feel the need to go on air with their shirt off. I don't get it.
I almost think with Scotty, it was like he just forgot that he wasn't wearing any clothes and didn't realize until it was too late. I feel like someone might have to remind him when he leaves the house. Are you wearing clothes, Scotty? Just make sure.
I guess Mom didn't do his job. Didn't do her job that day. So, okay, back up a little bit. Who is Fight? Who is Fight the Flat Earth? What motivated you, to start fighting the flat Earth, so to speak?
My kids mainly. Someone kind of shouted at my son because he's not a flat earther, and that annoyed me. A friend of his at school and and that friend's father, kind of berated him for not believing in flat Earth, and he came in crying and was like, he's not my friend anymore, and they called me a moron, blah blah blah. And so I was like, what? Phoned the school and they said they'd speak to the person, but then I started looking into the flat Earth, and like I'd heard of it, I knew it was a thing, but I didn't realize that people were so religious about it. So I started looking into it, and then I realized how deep the rabbit hole went, and I came across Red's Rhetoric, Simon Dan, and then especially Red's Rhetoric. I spent a long time watching his debates. I couldn't believe that there was people that were as dumb as he was speaking to, that just couldn't understand basic science and physics. And I started watching like all of the flat Earth content, and my wife just got annoyed with me going on about it all the time. She's like, just make your own YouTube channel. Shut up about it. so I did.
So basically she didn't want to hear any more from you. She wanted you to just go talk to other people about it.
Yeah. No, she supports me. Yeah, it was kind of like, she was one that like, you should do your own YouTube channel. You've got the knowledge. And we used to have, my wife and I, a YouTube channel called Married to Xbox. It was just a laugh that we had, we did together because we both love video games.
Right.
Well, I'd had a bit of practice at editing and stuff, and so I thought, why not? Let's just have a go, see what I can do. And then it took off really quickly, and it's been a hell of a lot of fun, and I just want to keep doing it now.
Wow. So that, it's an interesting story, because my wife is not, well, I wouldn't say she doesn't support me. She does support me, but she doesn't like it, at all. So she's like, oh my God, you're just talking to crazy people. Stop it.
Yeah. My wife doesn't enjoy,
but she lets me
debate, because, the first time that I debated, it was unfortunately against Flat Out Hero, and he had spent like a whole few days just like annoying me in private chats. I mean, really nasty. And
right.
And then the debate was quite heated, and she actually had to go and hide in the bathroom so she couldn't hear anything.
Oh man.
So she doesn't like the kind of the the confrontation side of what I'm doing. She doesn't mind me doing it, but she kind of can't be in the room or anywhere near me when I'm actually doing that side of it.
I hear you. It's a little intimidating, right?
Yeah.
I hear you. So let me ask you this then. Have you spoken to? I find it interesting, so I want to kind of go down this rabbit hole. Have you spoken to your child about flat Earth? Like, have you filled them in with the details, or I'm not sure how old your child is. So
I've got two. I've got a 10-year-old boy and a 5-year-old girl.
Right.
And the 10-year-old boy, he's very, very intelligent. He's got ADHD and Asperger's. So he's very intelligent for his age, but can't really cope with social stuff very well. And I let him watch YouTube and everything, and he knows that I've got a YouTube channel. So he was like, "Is there really people that think the Earth is flat? Why is this man saying these things to me?"
Right.
And yeah, he's very interested in it. So I've told him about how many different groups there are, and he understands that the mere thought of the Earth being flat is like, it's just ridiculous. Even my 5-year-old girl is like, flat earthers are stupid. So yeah, I've talked to them about it because I want them, I want them to understand all sides of everything, but I don't even need to say to them it's not true, because they're smart enough to understand that education isn't indoctrination. They've been, he's been told about the planet and the solar system in some of his classes and stuff, and he's watched stuff on TV, and so has my daughter, and I think the flat earthers would look at it as proof of, oh, look, from a young age they're just shoving the globe in your face. But
well,
even
what's
saying
the difference? The difference between education and indoctrination is that with education, you're teaching them something true.
Yeah,
and with indoctrination, you're teaching them something false.
But you're also teaching them the ability to understand why it's true.
Right. Critical thinking. Exactly.
When you get educated, you don't just go, oh, okay, yes, that's it. You'll then have to use that knowledge in a practical way that demonstrates that it makes sense.
Exactly.
And there's more to it than just you believe it because you are told that. My degree in physics, we had to do so many practical experiments, actually working with weights and stuff to figure out the forces involved in everything that's going on. And the calculations and the experiments that we were doing wouldn't work if the universe doesn't work as we describe it.
Right. Or more specifically, if gravity didn't work,
yeah, exactly,
these things wouldn't work.
Yeah. So I mean, it has led me down the path of explaining some more of the science and stuff to my kids. I bought my daughter a telescope for Christmas because she's interested in looking at the sky and stuff, and awesome. She's like, so is there anything flat out there? I'm like, no, that's just not how it works, darling.
Right.
We can look at all the things that are around and explain that why they're all round and why we're also round.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, it has, I think, helped me want to spread the knowledge of science to my children, because it's given me a passion for it again, which I'm passing on to them.
So let me ask you this: you do get, for lack of a better term, annoyed by these guys occasionally, and so my question for you is: do you feel like that's coming from a sense that they're being intentionally dishonest? Because I mean, if they're just idiots, that's one thing, right? But do you feel like they're being intentionally dishonest?
Sometimes I feel that it's the intellectual dishonesty that annoys me. Whether they're being honest about what they believe or not, it's the fact that they refuse to even accept that another argument is true, and you can call you stupid for being able to actually look at something from both sides and then come to the right conclusion based on the evidence. And I get really annoyed when you can follow the evidence to the logical conclusion and then they still go, yeah, but no.
Right.
And like with Flat Out Hero, I could spend so long explaining to him about how light refracts and why it would bend in that way. And he would just go, at the end of me 10 minutes of explaining, just go, light doesn't work like that. You just think light works like that, but that's not how it works.
Well, right, with no reasonable explanation.
And then I'd go back, look, I've just explained to you the physics, right? Here's some diagrams that I can show you. Here's some links and everything. Yeah, but that's just not how light works. why does Flat Out Hero think that he can debunk every scientist ever that has studied light and just say, with the zero knowledge that he has, that no, that's not how light works, and you're stupid for thinking it? That annoys me. And then it's that they want to push it as truth to other people annoys me, because other people involves kids.
Yeah, exactly. I find it interesting that there's somebody actually, telling their kid to tell other kids this at your school. That to me is like a level further than I thought it was even existed in reality. I mean, I've seen the street evangelism thing,
yeah,
but I didn't think that there were people like actually falling for this that deep to where they're actually sending their kids to school to tell other kids about it.
See, that's what got me, is that how actual spread out and ingrained it is to some people. I mean, Scotland seems to have quite a large proportion of them. I mean, you've spoken to Miles Davis, who's from Scotland, and there's, I can think of at least 6 or 7 like flat earthers that are from Scotland, and I don't know.
Yeah, where's that coming from? Like,
I don't know. Maybe
I can't think of any like major channels that are like making a lot of headway. Why would this? Maybe it's Nathan Oakley's. Maybe
Dell,
you're watching that or something.
A lot of the people from Scotland I come into contact with are because of Dell, but it got me how spread out it was that someone could come into contact with my child in my little village that I live in Scotland. So yeah.
Yeah, that is disturbing. Yeah, if my kid came home with that story, I'd be very disturbed about that. Yeah. What did the school have to say about this?
They looked into it. I didn't know who it was, and we hadn't been at the school long, so my son didn't really know the names of people. Mm-hmm. So we asked the school to look into it, and they've said they haven't had any other reports. But I haven't seen the guy. I don't know who the guy is. I've asked my son to point out if we see him in the playground so that I can speak to them, but I've never really come into contact with them myself. But the school's aware of the situation. In my village, this the way they do school, they've got a thing called a walking bus, where they have some teachers walk through the village, pick up the kids as they go along, and then walk to school. So there is always adults around and stuff now. So I don't think that situation could come up again, because Struan, my little boy, is very aware that he'll be with the adult that is the proper person now, because he's a bit timid about being away from who he should be. So if we ever come into contact with the person, I don't know if I'd approach him, because it's been so long since it happened. But I would then find out who it was and let the school know.
Right.
I don't fancy a confrontation with somebody in the street in front of my kids or whatever. I'd rather let the people that should be dealing with it deal with it.
Right, I agree with that. It is disturbing. It is disturbing. It is disturbing, but I mean, it needs to be handled properly. I mean,
but this is coming from people like Dell, who are doing the street evangelism and activism, and that's making other people think that it's okay.
Right.
And that's why Reddit came up with the whole, International Ballers Day to kind of say that isn't okay to go and pushing this stuff in the street.
Right.
But the more people that are seeing people like Dell and Nathan Thompson going out and doing this in the street that believe it, they're going to then think it's okay and go out in the street and do it as well.
It is strange, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
and what can you, I mean, in our society, right, we have kind of this double-edged sword, which is free speech. I mean, you want free speech. It's a good thing to do, to allow people to say whatever. But that means then anybody can say whatever nonsense they want to. And unless somebody else stands up against it, then it can actually influence people, which we're seeing happening, right? We're actually
that's my problem with it, is the influencing of people, because there are vulnerable people that aren't knowledgeable or are easily swayed in stuff. And when you look at idiots like Logan Paul, who's got nearly 20 million subscribers,
right?
I mean, I don't know if he really is a flat earther or not. I don't think he is. But even the fact that he went and said, I might be a flat earther, most of his 20 million subscribers are young, impressionable people that are going to go, my favorite celebrity says the earth's flat, so therefore it is.
Yeah.
And I've got a problem with that.
Yeah, I do too. I agree with that. Yeah. Somebody has to stand up and do something about it.
Yeah. And I suppose that's why I chose fight the flat Earth, because I do feel like it needs to be. It's at the point where someone needs to stand up and go, "Oi, that's enough of that fucking shit. Just stop it now."
Yeah.
Because in America, I've seen there's like loads of states where they're trying to push it into schools and going into school boards and stuff, and trying to actually get this put in as education. And because of that, someone in the UK tried putting it through courts that it should be taught as, alongside the rest of actual education. And that's dangerous. Spreading something like that as truth to kids and impressionable people is dangerous and stupid.
Well, I totally agree with that. So that's the whole reason I do it, is because of these types of stories. As a matter of fact, there's someone that you're probably familiar with online. One of the people that's usually in my chat and other people's chats, who had an experience where some of his family members actually it resulted. I'm not going to tell the whole story. I'll let him do it one day whenever he's ready. But it resulted in them dying. As a direct result of this, and to me, that's just unacceptable. And I think our society is still kind of in this fog of it's all a joke. It's not dangerous. It's just a bunch of silly people. And it's really not just that anymore.
No,
there are that type included, but it's more than that now. And there are people that are doing really dangerous things because of, the stuff. And
well, one of the people that Team Skeptic debated on Non Sequitur, he had to do the debate from like a storage unit because of his belief in flat Earth. He'd lost his family and his house and everything, but he didn't care because he still wanted to spread the truth of flat Earth. And come on, like, are you really going to lose your family and everything over flat Earth? If that's the stage that it's got to, that people are that deeply into it, then it's more than just people being annoyed. It's more than people just being silly on the internet. It's a cult. I go as far as saying it's a cult because you have to literally warp your way of thinking, ignore all scientific consensus and physics, and literally change the way that you think about science and the way that the universe works. You have to ignore kind of all outside influence. You have to you only listen to people within your group. You get so ingrained into it that it can literally ruin your life. And then if you try to leave the cult, you get slandered and attacked and stuff. I've spoken to 3 ex-flat earthers on my channel, and all of them have said that most of the flat earthers that they used to call friends have been really nasty to them when they've left.
Right.
Because they don't like people leaving their cult. And I am going to call it a cult. And I know that one of Dell's boys is probably going to take this clip and make it into something, but it is a cult. And that's why I think it's dangerous.
I agree with you. I've called it a cult in the past.
Yeah.
That's the type of behavior that's going on. It's basically that the internet has enabled people that would otherwise be called the town dunce, for lack of a better term, to now congregate, and they're coming together as a cultish type group. And I was just watching, somebody linked me over to, I hardly ever watch their channels anymore, but somebody linked me over to Poncho Pete. I think it was just yesterday or maybe Sunday. And they were all sitting in a group, and there was this one guy that was like, I'd spoken to him before on Discord, and he was like just asking me very like honest questions, like, oh, what about the, where were you located? Talking about the causeway. Where were you located? What floor of the hotel were you on? Ask me these types of questions, right? And at the end of it, he's like very polite. Hey, yeah, thank you. I'm gonna do a video on this, and even sounded like there was like even an opportunity to kind of convert him, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
And so he went from there over to this Flat Earth live stream where they live stream literally 8 hours every day, it seems like. And for lack of a better term, it is an echo chamber. It's a place where people can go and get reinvigorated with the spirit, so to speak. And he went in there and he started off exactly how we were talking. And by the end of it, he's like, "Oh man, yeah, I'm going to debunk this guy." Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Like just by being in that echo chamber.
Yeah. They might.
They kind of reinitiated him.
Yeah. He might have had a more open mind when he was watching you and stuff, but then the second he was back within that group, it reinforces the idea. And
exactly.
You know, so yeah, I mean, I was watching quite a bit of your footage on and off while I was cooking and stuff, and I was watching one bit where I could actually see the inferior mirage form as it was getting colder, and I was like, that actually blew my mind that observation was there, making it so obvious of what is refraction and what isn't.
Right.
Yet people are still trying to say that it's all this compression or that you're somehow distorting it, and they literally reject any kind of proof unless it fits their narrative. You know, the amount of times they'd be like, "Yeah, come on, show me some proof. Show me some proof." Well, okay, here's a whole bunch of proof. No, that's not proof. I'm not accepting it.
Right. Or that's been debunked already. That's my favorite one.
That's
my favorite one. I can't tell you how many people say they've already debunked me with the transmission lines. And the video that they link without fail is this video by this guy named Dr. Zach. He changed his name to Decimal Z or whatever. He changed his name to Decimal Z now.
Oh my God, that's even worse.
So in the video that they constantly link to me, in his video description, it says, "Oh, it turns out I got the wrong transmission lines."
Oh yeah, that's right. I've seen
everything. They always link that video to me. It's amazing because he just left it up because he knows he's going to get these, just empty-headed people come and watch it and never look at the description, and it doesn't matter to him. Clicks is all that matters to him.
But like, you can look at your observations and you can see that it's not all this compression and stuff, and that the curve is starting from the beginning. Because if you put if you put the lines across it, you can see that even at the base of the lines of the bridge, that it starts to move away from the line.
Yep.
At the beginning, proving that the curve isn't just at the end. Obviously, you can see the curve more at the end because it's further away, so you're seeing more distance over a shorter point. But you can see the curve starting straight away.
Right.
And they still, the evidence is there clearly. You can't deny it. You were streaming live. You were taking directions from people in the chat. There is no way to dispute what you were seeing, yet they will still just go, "No, it's not. It's pointless. Yeah, look at the bendy bridge. For God's sakes, what have we got to do?"
Well, the thing is that to me, when you look at that shape, the actual shape, it looks curved the entire way. Like just looking at it looks like a consistent curve that you're looking at edgewise, right? And if you took a hula hoop, for example, and put it on its edge, you'd see a similar thing, right? Like the far end would appear a little bit more curved than the close end. Same thing with a broomstick or a pool table, a pool cue, cue stick. What's it called? Billiard stick, whatever. Yeah, pool cue. Yeah. So, I mean, it's very hard for me to like understand like where they're coming from. Sometimes it feels like it's just a troll. Like, well, obviously it is curved the whole way. And whenever they say, "Well, it only curves down there at the end," I go, "No, he's just joking, right? He's just saying that as a throwaway comment. He doesn't actually believe that." But they do actually believe that, or they act like they believe that, which is very strange to me because to me, you can look at it and tell it's curved the whole way without even putting a line on the screen. They
think they can put it through Photoshop and like put some lens correction software on it that's gonna.
Right.
I saw someone in the comments actually that was saying about lens correction with I think it was with Alk actually, and like he'd even done the Photoshop for apparently lens correction, and there was still curve in it.
Right.
It
doesn't make any sense. Anybody that's familiar with actual lens compression, or not lens compression, but lens distortion and and correcting that lens distortion, could look at that and tell you, well, that type of curve doesn't make sense with lens distortion. It's curving the wrong way.
It just amazes me how they can find proof for flat Earth in so many globe Earth things.
Right.
I mean, honestly, how can any of them look at Ranty's videos and think that he's on their side?
Ranty the globe.
I mean, I feel like Ranty is
maker.
he'd go back to the, hey guys, look, I've got a new video to put up, and everyone's going, oh, for fuck's sake, just don't upload it, please. Don't.
He's the globe Earth hero, man.
Yeah.
That guy is constantly putting up globe Earth evidence.
But
I love it.
he's been doing a bunch of comments and stuff about me, and he did even put a video up about me, and he puts all this globe proof, but then he really believes that it's proven the flat Earth. And I just don't understand how he can look at the things that are clear proof that the Earth is a globe and still say that the Earth is flat.
Right.
I don't get it. How much proof can we give?
So let me ask you this: do you feel like you have targets on you, like personal attack targets coming from some of these guys? I mean, obviously Ranty, but
yeah, there has. I mean,
the Scott guy.
Daniel Pratt did a few videos about me in between his videos about Team Skeptic. One literally saying that he would beat me up if he saw me. Yeah. Mr. Cheswick, who is one of Dell's fanboys. I mean, if you go to his channel, it's pretty much just like an advert for me. And it's like, I don't understand why they were all targeting me so much. Why am I making people so angry? And then Dell did a 2.5-hour stream about me. And I'm like, why are you picking on me? There's so many other people. I don't know why you're targeting me. But I don't mind because they're making my content for me.
I think they're targeting you because you go after their ass. I mean, that's really what happens. I mean, if we're just being coy about it, I mean, you're not a dove about it. You're definitely brutal.
Well, I feel like if they're going to say these things, they need to be held accountable for it. And
yeah,
it annoys me when they're not. And that's why I've enjoyed going on the Non Sequitur show, because I actually get to speak to them one-to-one instead of them being keyboard warriors and things. Right. And I have respect for the people that will actually, the flat earthers that will actually, well, actually, no, I don't have respect for any flat earther, but I suppose I have a little bit more respect for the ones that are willing to go on the Non Sequitur show and actually have a debate rather than sit behind a keyboard. Have you seen the whole thing with Ranty and Conspiracy Cats recently?
I haven't seen that one, though.
Conspiracy Cats it basically said that he would pay money to charity if Ranty debated him on the Non Sequitur show. He was like, I'll pay £200 to charity if you debate me on the Non Sequitur show. And Ranty's response was, if you put £100 in my Patreon, I'll consider it. If I decide to debate you, I'll give it back to you and you can pay it to charity, or if I don't debate you, I'll just pay it to charity.
He wants a retainer fee.
Yeah, and it's like, and then he did a live stream earlier with Sleeping Warrior pretending to be Conspiracy Cats, like they're pretending they were having a debate, trying to be funny. And it's like, wait, you're telling people that you're doing this? You're telling people that you are refusing to give money to charity? You're actually uploading this? Do you realize other people can see this? Like, how can they think these things are showing them in a good light?
I don't think they really care about that good light, right? Because, I mean, just recently, Nathan Oakley was threatening to sexually assault someone. And
Timmy Osmond, wasn't it?
Yes, Tim Osmond. Yeah. And they were justifying it. Like, there's actually this back channel Discord where I was talking to Quantum Eraser and Anthony, and they were justifying it. I'm like, you're going to stand back? Yeah, okay. See you later. I'm not going to talk to you. They don't care. They really don't care what they look like. I really think they just don't have an ethical bone in their body, to be honest.
It's either that or that they don't realize that it's showing them in a bad light. It's like with the doxing and stuff and the personal attacks.
I wanted to get to that, actually.
It's like it doesn't make sense that they think doing those things is in any way winning. I mean, so what? You tried to release my personal details. You gave people my name and my wrong address. Well done. In what way has that in any way attacked me or proved that the Earth isn't a globe? It doesn't. I mean, I'll do the videos where, all right, I call people an idiot a lot, but then I'll back up why I'm calling them an idiot with a bunch of science and I have to prove what I'm saying. Whereas they will literally just personally attack you and laugh at you. And like, well, why is that winning? Why are you putting that up as what? In what way is this showing you in a good light?
It really is. It's a strange question. I think, why is that winning? Because here's the thing: is that me and you have personally different styles. I, on one hand, think that the the gurus, as I like to call them, or the shepherds of flat Earth, that those guys need to be ridiculed, right? And there are a lot of guys out there like yourself, like Reg Rhetoric, that do that very well, and they do it better than me because my personality just isn't very good at that.
Yeah.
And I go about the more, I guess, dove-like approach, or I try to anyway, even though they still say I'm an asshole. Yeah. But and so I think there's a need for both types of personalities in this fight against the flat Earth. And my question to you is, though, why is it that they just get away with doing nothing but these shenanigans and they still get subs? They still get. It's like people like the train wreck, or people like this is the only thing I can come up with is people like the soap opera. Like they like the drama, and that's why they're watching, but they're not actually flat earthers. But then on the other hand, you got people showing up at your kid's school, trying to teach flat earth. So
it's
very strange to me. I haven't been able to wrap my head around it.
When you look in the comments as well of these videos of people doing the doxes and stuff, people are like, yeah, great, well done, you've got them. Right. Wait to show them.
Right.
And it's like, it obviously attracts the kind of people that don't have much moral standards. Right. I don't see globe earthers being this vile and full of so much hatred and actual personal attacks. And I don't see globe earthers threatening to meet you in a car park for a fight. And, I don't see globe earthers doing an entire video just to say that if they see me in the street, they're going to smack me in the face.
Right.
So the fact that you get all this stuff from the people that are on flat earth says that it attracts a certain type of person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is a few flat earthers who I actually don't mind talking to, and I think are probably all right people.
Right.
But the 99% that I've met are actually vile, horrid people.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them that I have talked to that I wouldn't say are vile, but there obviously are the vile ones. I mean, Nathan Oakley's a vile person.
Yeah.
I personally wonder about who is this that's sitting in the back rooms watching, I mean, however many hours upon hours of video they have to watch to find out that they at some point somebody accidentally leaked their address or leaked their real name or something like that. It's like, who does that? Like, and then why would you do that? Do they really believe, that we're government shills? I mean, they can't actually believe that. But they must.
People that are like, oh, you're just a liar. You know exactly what you're doing, and you're just a liar. That people are, oh, I've got your game, son. I know what you're up to.
Mm-hmm.
Like they either think that I'm a paid agent or something from NASA or CIA. I mean, this Mr. Cheswick was literally obsessed with the thought that I was part of a military conspiracy, because I know I've become friends with Jared from 82 Productions, and I'm a veteran. So I've joined on the veterans talk that he does on a Friday, and Team Skeptic is a veteran. And that then started a conspiracy within this group that military were paying people to start YouTube channels. And it's like, do you actually believe this? Do you really think that the military are spending resources to train people to make YouTube channels and videos? I mean, does it really look like I've got a budget to make the stuff that I do? It's like,
I'll be the first one to tell you, if NASA wants to start paying me what I make annually to start doing this, I'll do it.
Exactly.
That's all there is to it. I am a NASA shield. Look.
Yeah, well, congratulations on
NASA shield. Oh.
Yeah, congratulations on the agent choosing you. You certainly deserve to be in it. But that's one video that Mr. Cheswick did was about this whole SEAL Team 6. Right. And he had a picture of 6 spaces, 3 of them full, and it was Simon Dan confirmed, Conspiracy Cats confirmed, and a picture of me confirmed. And I'm like, no, I'm not in it. I'm pretty sure Soundly should be there.
I haven't seen this. I gotta see this video.
They don't even, for some reason, they think that, oh, I'm part of that just because I've been doing stuff with Conspiracy Cats. All of a sudden, that I am part of this SEAL Team 6, but I'm nothing to do with it. And they I don't know why they make the connections and just like.
I find it really bizarre. You know, we kind of play along sometimes to just kind of stoke the fire, but it's like,
well,
you
in the
can't,
comment section.
you can't really believe this, right?
Yeah.
Come on, man. I mean, we're
I know.
joking with you because it's so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I even I was baiting them, going through like going through it to get more stupid comments out so I could screenshot it and show people week. And even in that episode, I said quite clearly, look, all you flat earthers that are coming to my channel and commenting and and downvoting and leaving so many comments, all right, it's actually helping me. You are helping me. And then the first comment on that video was from a flat earther. And it's like, do you not get what you're doing? You are helping me. And I said that on purpose so that in the next episode, I can screenshot all the flat earthers that are still commenting, even though I've just told them that they are literally helping my channel by constantly doing this. They don't get it.
That might be a good strategy to get them off your channel. Yeah, NASA pays me an extra $10 bonus per flat Earth comment. Just saying, guys.
I don't know. It's like, I actually think a lot of them must be stubbed and have notifications on, because the first bunch of comments are from flat earthers.
Yeah.
So they know as soon as I've got a video out. So they must be subscribed to me and have notifications on.
Oh, I'm convinced that there's a couple bots that they just like they sub that bot to us, and they automatically put a downvote as soon as you run a video. Like, I
don't care. That downvote is still activity on my account.
I know. I've put videos out, literally put like premiered a video, and the moment that I like posted it for a premiere, right? So it's like it just got posted publicly. I'll be premiering it this time. Boom, downvote. I was like, that is amazing. Like, that's impressive. I didn't even know it was public yet. So, Jesus.
They've got the skills to do all this stuff, and I mean, going back to like the doxing and stuff, they've obviously got the
they should be
intelligence to kind of do some kind of research and investigation and stuff. So why not actually spend that research in reality and instead of doing stuff that's gonna in the end actually just help my cause? The amount of stupid shit that they say and do and then post, it's just helping me. When I first started a couple of months ago, I found it a bit difficult writing the scripts, but now I feel like they write them for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll go like, right, who am I going to think about? Who am I going to write about this week? And I'll go and look at their channel, and within 2 videos, I'm like, well, there you go. They've just written the episode. Well done.
So tell me about the future of your channel. You're talking about doing some maths and some physics and stuff like that. Are you planning on doing little things like that on your channel? Or
people were saying that they wanted to see some more in-depth things. I did a couple of things about Michelson Morley experiment and Airy's failure, and they were quite just quick explanations.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were saying they wanted to see something bigger. So I'm actually planning to start in February a series of half-hour documentaries on scientific endeavors.
That's good.
So I'm going to try and look into things like, the Michelson Morley experiment a bit deeper, into how Einstein came up with his theories of relativity and everything, and try and take it a bit deeper and do the maths. And then I do want to try and have more factual stuff in the shows that I do. A lot. The last one I did, there wasn't much maths and stuff for me, and I realized that watching it back, it was just a lot of Anthony Wright is a fucking idiot. And I feel like I should be putting more maths and physics into my videos, but there needs to be a balance, I think, for entertainment and stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, different people are entertained by the different things, right? I mean, a lot of people, like I did an Equinox challenge in 2017 for Wolfie's channel, and I put this whole rig together and watched the equinox from sunrise to solar noon, and I think a lot of people really enjoyed that observation.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I didn't get as many views as I did on, like, say, one of my Flat Earth Tears videos.
Yeah.
So I think it does take a balance, but I also think it kind of goes with where you want to go with your channel, I think, because you can't really let the subs drive the whole channel, right? I mean, they have desires, but at the same time, it's got to be something that you can want to do. You're motivated to do
Yeah.
yourself, you know.
Well, that's kind of why I split it into two series at the start, explaining simple stuff to flirfs and flirfs are idiots. In the explaining simple stuff to flirfs, it was more about explaining the science and the
Right.
misconceptions that the flat earthers have, whereas the flirfs are idiots was more about pointing out how fucking stupid they are. So I purposely kind of split it into two, and I did notice quite quickly that the explaining simple stuff to flirfs was getting, you know, at the most 2/3 of the views as the other ones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it is about looking at what people want, but at the same time, I want to stay true to the fact that I have the maths and the physics knowledge, and that's why I'm able to debunk the idiots, and I want to be able to show that.
Yeah. To me personally, I think that type of stuff's interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
I actually have a project that I'm working on right now, which is based on Walter Bislin's Equinox sundial. That I'm hoping to extend that a little bit, but that type of stuff is very interesting to me, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on my channel anyway.
Yeah. I also want to be doing more live streams because I really enjoy interacting with people live.
Right.
And
I've definitely enjoyed doing interviews.
Since Red's invited me onto his channel for the first time, I've really enjoyed being part of the community. And I think one of the biggest things since I've started doing this is how tight the community is. And I feel like I've been accepted into a family almost. And that's driving me forward to want to make better content and to, you know, help drive the whole community forward.
Right.
I love the collaborations that everyone's doing, you know, and I love having other people on my channel, and I love doing stuff for their channel. And the fact that this whole community is working together to actually promote science and logic and reason,
right,
makes me happy. And
critical thinking.
And critical thinking, exactly.
That's important. Our
very,
society,
very important.
Our little group, our little our content creator group, whatever you want to call it, community. We hold each other accountable. You know, we hold each other. Like if somebody makes an error or mistake, we're like, hey, you know, we call it out.
Yeah.
And whereas versus like I want to make that a clear distinction from, you know, the echo chambers versus you know, what our little community is trying to do, which is we really are trying to, you know, promote.
Yeah, and everyone's like talking to each other and you know, working together to promote this, but at the same time, we're smart enough to be able to accept new ideas and stuff, unlike flat earthers.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got a community, and we've got a community, but their community is so fragmented. You know, there's so much infighting between their community that even though it's more like a cult, it's like individual groups of cults, you know, that have their own different little views and stuff. Whereas we all know the scientific consensus and can actually work together, you know, as a community that can not only promote science, but actually help each other as well. When people are having issues within the community, I've seen people, you know, Red Rhetoric, like jump on and do a live stream to help one of the subs that needed money for a bed and stuff, and then helping Boolinator get a new place and everything. And you wouldn't see that from the flat Earth side.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so I do feel like
I'm going to point something out along this lines right here.
Yeah.
You know, Jose J.G. Gonzalez. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him or not, but he was driving through here on the way to Texas. He was moving.
Yeah.
And he's a flat earther, and he asked me specifically for locations, and he went there and he photographed some of these locations and replicated some of my observations. And then whenever we did the Get 2019, which was you know, a week ago yesterday or Sunday, he was supposed to come. Yeah. Now he started a GoFundMe for a P900 or a P1000, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not trying to brag. I donated to him because I wanted him to get it. I wanted him to come back. You know, I wanted him to get the camera and come back. And I know that in his particular situation, he couldn't afford to just go out and get it anyway. But his community did not support him at all. I mean, no. It was amazing. I was really surprised. Like, it seems like somebody like Anthony or Nathan They could just say, hey, here's his GoFundMe, go get him funded.
Yeah, exactly.
They could easily do that. They have enough subs to do that, and they wouldn't do it, even though he's on the panel every day. It's amazing.
Then when we were doing the hangout with Reds to help Boomlater, I saw the flat earthers in the chat being like, "Oh, you're just begging for money. Look at you, just begging for money. That it's just about the money for you." And I find that quite hypocritical, because have you seen the start of every single one of Nathan's shows where he talks about PayPal and Super Chat and supporting the show
and merchandise?
Yeah, and it's like, then I get attacked because I get monetized and started, I do it.
Of course they're going to attack. They have to attack you, man.
And apparently now I'm some kind of, problem of society because I'm making money. I mean, how much money do they think we actually make off of this? Like, I
know. It's not like any of us have 1 million subscribers.
No.
That's really the only way you can make money, is to have 1 million subscribers.
Like, yes, all right. I've had a little bit starting to come in, but it's like a few quid here and there that's in my YouTube account. It's
like $50 or something.
I'm not going to be able to go and buy a mansion, and I'm like PewDiePie because I've got nearly 5,000 subscribers. They don't understand
exactly.
And I'm disabled, because of my military service. I can't work. Up until a few years ago, I was working even while I was disabled, but it got too bad and I couldn't. And people know I'm disabled. And because I've now got monetized, one of the flat earthers messaged me saying, "I've informed the IRS and the Department of Work and Pensions that you're on your benefit fraud." I'm like, benefit fraud? In what way am I? If this got to a stage where it was making enough money that I didn't need to be on benefits,
right,
then brilliant. But
right, until you're there, right?
I'm not making money, and anything that I do make will be declared to whoever I need to declare it to. But like, I've been monetized for 2 weeks, and it takes longer than that to even get money and stuff. And they're trying to report me to the Department of Work and Pensions for benefit fraud, and I'm like,
you're monetized for 2 weeks, which means you've made like $5. You withdraw $5. It takes another 2 weeks for that to happen. You fraudster.
I know. So I'm obviously just in it for the money. If you guys want to make some super chats on my channel, go ahead. Just saying.
Speaking of that, I've been meaning to get to the chat. I'm glad you said that. Let me come over here real quick. Kim Shahid says, how do you get a one-armed flattard out of a tree? You wave at him. Okay, I'll sit and listen quietly now, he says. That was a $5 super chat. Thank you, Kim. And I'm only looking at mentions, guys, because there's too many messages. Bullionator. Hey, Bullionator. What's up, man? Nathan Grant says Sally is correct here about something. I have no idea what that was. Mr. Unite for the Children says, "Oh yeah, is there a timestamp for the Mirage moment in the video?" I would go to the last video. I think that's where you're going to find it. It's probably the last video.
I found it because someone had commented actually and put the timestamp in the comments.
Yeah,
so that's how I found it.
The Get 2019 series, which I don't have in a playlist yet, which I probably should do. But if you go look at my recent videos, Mr. Unite for the Children, there's a whole bunch of videos all named Get 2019 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. And I think it's the last one. And you're just probably start at the very beginning and play it all the way out. I think that's where you'll see the Mirage. And in the last video I did of the Causeway, my little 2-minute video that I did, I actually did a time lapse showing the Mirage and the refraction changing the height of the trees in the background. It was a very, very interesting observation. Like when you're scrubbing through those videos and you're seeing that happen, it's pretty cool to look at. Okay, so Tommy Grunwald. Tommy says I say his name right, so I'm going to go with it. Grunwald. I actually had a comment today from a guy trying to tell me how zooming the boats back works. That's some Stone Age shit right there.
What don't they get? That all zooming does is increase the resolution of what you're looking at.
I know, it's just...
It doesn't magically move things around.
Right. It's amazing how many of them don't understand. Like, your eyes, a camera sensor, they're just passively sitting there waiting for something to hit it.
Yeah.
Right. And they're waiting for light to hit it. You somehow you magnifying, so the light's in a grid already. It's in a, just imagine it like that. The light's in a grid coming in, photons are coming in a grid, and all you're looking at is a smaller piece of that grid. That's it. You're not magically reaching out
over the horizon, which I'm going to point out that on a flat Earth there can't be a horizon.
Yes.
The horizon is literally the curve of the Earth. There can't be a horizon.
Well, it's actually flat Earth. It's actually surprising. I participate in this Discord. I probably pop in there for a couple hours a night, and there's a lot of people that want to sit there and argue. We're having the wrong arguments with these guys. Is there a horizon? Okay, that's evidence for a globe. That's our prediction. Okay, your prediction is fading off into a fog. There's no hard, sharp horizon on a flat Earth. It just fade off into a fog. Yeah, and they don't get that. They won't accept it. But that is in fact, the prediction.
Then they start talking about things like, oh, well, our eyes can only see a certain distance and shit like that. And it's like, no, because that's not how stuff. Like, you actually want to bang your head against a wall. It's like you're saying you can only see that distance, yet at the same time you're saying the sun is 3,000 miles away, yet you can see that.
That's exactly where I go with it. It's like,
and that's wrong anyway.
Yeah, exactly. How far? That's what I always go. How far away is the moon? And they go, well, some people say 3,000 miles, but I don't know. Well, okay, let's go with 3,000 miles. When it's setting at the horizon, how far away is the moon? you can literally see their brains turning into a blue screen of death. It's
trying to come up with some perspective because there's mountains in the way.
Exactly. Okay, Mr. Stone, go ahead. Don't let me interrupt you.
No, sorry. I was just being incredulous about their stupidity.
Well, you say that, but I am. There's no way they're that stupid. I think they just say these things because it's an easy out, and the ones that actually do believe it, they in the back of their mind they're thinking, well, there's a way to explain it, even if I don't know how to explain it now. So I'll say this nonsense to get out of this conversation.
Or I feel like they pick up some scientific words that they don't actually understand the meaning or context of, and will then just use it in completely the wrong way and claim they've won.
Well, the most egregious example of that, perspective, I can see them. They say perspective, and it's kind of related to whatever their magical perspective is. But angle of attack, like that one to me is like bullshit. The moment he said those words, anybody that's aviation 101, anybody that just goes and Googles angle of attack will see it has absolutely nothing to do with optics.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's not even related to optics in any kind of way. So, like, how do people just go with that? They're like, yeah, it's angle of attack. Okay, what's angle of attack? Well, they don't know. It's
how things magically disappear from the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
What you mean in a curved garage that Nathan showed you? Yeah, brilliant, well done. Like, they come up with so many things to. That's it as well. Is that they will say, look, this is why you're wrong, and then completely misrepresent the globe model.
Yes.
Like Phuket word fuckwit. I'm just going to call him fuckwit word because it's much more appropriate. Like, did you see the?
That's okay. I didn't want to monetize this one
table
anyway.
That he did. When he put like the can on a table with a picture of a sun, and he's like, oh, what happens when the sun rises? And he tilted the table and the can fell off, and he was like, oh, there you go. I'm like, wait, do you think that's actually what's happening? Like, no, we don't tilt, we rotate, you fucking moron. Honestly, it's like, but then in his mind, that's him debunking the globe when it's absolutely no representation of what the globe would be.
I do have to say, he does it very concisely, though. And it's one thing about Phuket Word is that he's able to put together a string of seemingly coherent words that are completely incoherent and make it very concise. It's like, how does he do that? He's like a snake oil salesman. I've
noticed with him, there's a con man trick there that I've also noticed that allegedly Dave used, is that they keep saying, yeah, Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, making you agree with it.
Talking. Yeah. So this is perspective. Yeah. Yeah. And for some people that'll make them go, oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And he manages. I think he must have been a salesman or something. Wait, what wasn't Nathan Oakley also a salesman? Maybe it's like just like some kind of sales tactic practicing. I don't know.
It's an actual like clinic, you know.
Yeah,
it's
all just a workshop for a sales job.
Until you make X amount of dollars on flat Earth, you can't join our.
Yeah, until you can make people think the Earth's flat, you can't come and sell cars for us.
Exactly.
Oh, and it's the amount of like whether they believe it or not, is that they can be so convincing and make other people believe it, and that's the problem. If they wanted to think the Earth was flat and sit in their little shed with no electricity because they don't understand science, then that's fine. But then if you're going to come on the internet and start telling everyone that they're wrong and that you're going to tell me that I'm wrong about the shape of the Earth, then I'm going to get on the internet and call you a fucking idiot, and you're going to have to deal with it. You know, they get angry because, oh, you're just coming attacking the flat Earth, and I'm like, well, aren't you attacking the globe Earth by saying it's wrong?
It's a double standard. You know, it's a double standard. They can come on with zero ethics. They can dox people. They can bold-faced lie to people. They can con people. But if you call them an idiot, you're the bad guy somehow. It's just part of the propaganda. That's all it is.
And then they come up with so many things to try and explain it, and experiments that wouldn't even prove what they think they're proving. And if you heard what Dell is trying to push as proof as whether it's flat or not at the moment, he wants people to get like a massive stretcher of level water and build over it metal blocks that are perfectly matching, completely level, because if it is curved, then you will see a gap appear. So like I heard him saying that they would be like 6 meters squared. So for each 6 meters that's going, you're going to see a gap of, when I did the maths, 0.0000016 degrees of an arc each time. And I'm sorry, but
you're not going to see that. That's like seeing a building leaning over by half a degree, 30 miles away. Come on, guys.
In his mind, after 4 or 5 blocks put together, you should see a massive, gap appearing.
Right.
And if you don't, then it's flat. But again, that's him not really understanding what the globe model should be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That goes back to the whole horizon thing,
Yeah.
Anybody that's listening right now, stop arguing with them about the horizon. If there is a horizon, that's evidence for a globe, period. That's all there is to it.
Exactly. They just ignore it.
Okay, so let me look at the chat real quick again. We're getting close to an hour, so I want to kind of start heading that direction. Soundly, what are your thoughts on making water level observations versus higher level observations that Miles is doing with regards to getting away from miraging, etc.? I really, really like Miles's observation. That's a very, very good observation. For those reasons, actually, the higher you get, the less you have to deal with the thicker atmosphere.
I can see those bridges from my house.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Miles actually lives not far from me.
You guys should do a collab, man.
Yeah, we've been talking about something that seeing the Forth bridges that I go over regularly, as proof of the globe was quite nice.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what happened with Mike the Globetrotter. I think he's going to start going by his real name pretty soon. But Mike just lives in my area, and so did Dandy, and so that's how we ended up meeting up. I mean, they saw my channel and they said, "Hey, I want to come do this with you," and that's how now we all kind of get together and collab. So it's pretty cool. Okay, let's see. So apparently, there's flat earthers in the chat going back and forth.
Yep. Of course, there is. One of them.
Hopefully, the flat earthers didn't see the very beginning of the stream where I.
Oh, of course they did. They're gonna use that.
Everything.
That'll be all over Mr. Cheswick's channel tomorrow.
I'm sure. It's good to know that Soundly is military. I'm not military.
Well, you must be. You're an anti-flat earther, the YouTuber, so you must be military, part of the conspiracy.
I guess so. I wonder where he got that from. Military. Oh, David McInnes. Hello, that's Zant on Discord. Okay. Hello, David McInnes. Phuket word. Somebody was saying something about Phuket word. I hate the way this chat reloads whenever you haven't looked at it in a while. Phuket words bridge observation mimics Soundly's image perfectly, yet only over 1 mile. Yeah, that's incorrect, Chris Berry. A curving bridge. I mean, you're going to try and disprove my curving bridge by showing me a curving bridge. That makes no sense.
I know. You should go to ranting. You're good at proving the globe.
Chris Berry says we can't see the curve unless I take the picture. Oh, well, we were just talking about Miles Davis. There's a bunch of people that have taken pictures. There's also Tim Osman.
The Mount Rainier observations.
Mount Rainier observations.
Was showing.
Conspiracy Scott's right. Exactly. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of people that have taken observations, not just me. Somebody out of San Francisco took an observation just recently. There's a bunch of people that have made observations.
Yeah. I mean, some people have a go at me because I haven't gone and done my own observations, but I literally can't get out the house without help most of the time. You know, I need help to get around because half of my body doesn't work properly. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to really get the chance to go and do a bunch of my own observations. We're going to try and do some, but that's why I'm glad there's people like you and Miles Davis that are actually doing the observations that I can refer to. But then some of them will be, oh, well, you're not doing the observations yourself.
So is it? let me ask you this about. Let me ask a little deeper. Is it like a back injury? Are you having problems with nerve?
When I was in the Navy, I was crushed by a hydraulic ram, a hydraulic piston, because it wasn't locked out in the bridge properly. It like crushed my shoulder and my collarbone and my ribs and pushed me into awkward position and hurt my knee. So after surgery and after I was discharged, the damage to my knee was more severe than I realized. So I had one operation where they put pins in, but then it kind of, my meniscus exploded and I didn't realize for a while. And the damage got so bad on my leg with my knee that they can't really repair it anymore. So it's got to the stage of either I have like a knee replacement every few years for the rest of my life, or I have my leg amputated and get a prosthetic. And, you know, as well as that, my shoulder dislocates a lot. I'm in constant pain. I don't have much use of my left arm. So, you know, I struggle with chronic pain all the time, and the fact that I don't like being someone that has to ask for help all the time and that, but my wife has to help me get dressed and stuff sometimes if I'm in too much pain. And, you know, that's just that's just the reality of the situation. So I just make the best of what I can.
This is what aggravates me too. You know, I want to say, as a non-military person, I appreciate your service because
thank you, because
you allow the rest of us to live our lives without fear of being blown up every day. And I really appreciate that you did put yourself out there. And I'm glad at least that it sounds like they're trying to take care of you, right? Like they're trying to at least.
Yeah, I mean the NHS here is good, and I get priority service because I'm a veteran. And you know they do help me financially because I can't work. You know, so yeah, they have made sure that I'm able to live a life as much as possible. You know, obviously I'd rather have the use of my leg and arm properly, but I would never change what I've done. So.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I mean, that's something, you know, that I think everybody else should kind of realize. You know, you have people that are really willing to sacrifice years of their lives and their body parts to protect us, and in the meantime, you have people that are out there conning, you know, gullible people on the internet, and that's really what the fights come down to. Unfortunately, and then like zero ethics. Something that
I did find it quite offensive with the whole like, oh, you're a benefit cheat and that. You know, I mean, I have to have thick skin doing this. Obviously, there's going to be people that are saying stuff like that, but you know, I do feel like I worked my whole life. I've paid my dues. I paid my national insurance. I paid my tax, and now I'm injured. So what's bad about the fact that I am now on those benefits that are there for this reason? Why should I be ashamed of that?
You shouldn't.
Know? Exactly. But a lot of the flat earthers, especially Dell's and Mr. Cheswick's group, try and put me down for it. Oh, look at you. Go and get a real job. Lazy, fat idiot.
Well, and I was about to say, you're a guy that could very easily, and rightfully so, kind of just sit back and get whatever you get paid from the government and just be happy with that. But you have a drive or motivation to be more than that. And so you're trying to do something to better your circumstances. Yeah. And and they want to take that out against you. When in the meantime, these guys are sitting in chat rooms for 8 to 12 hours a day. So those guys don't have a job.
Yeah.
It's like it's ridiculous.
I mean, for the last
they're
few
basically
years,
just projecting onto you. Is what they're doing.
But for the last few years, since I literally had to stop working, I've kind of just focused on spending time with my family. We had to move house because where we were living wasn't appropriate for me anymore because I couldn't get upstairs. I couldn't go. The toilet was upstairs, sorry, the toilet was downstairs and my bedroom was upstairs. So like at night, if I wanted to go to the toilet, getting down the stairs was such an issue. And sometimes I couldn't even go upstairs to bed because I was hurting too much. So I just have to sleep on the sofa, which then causes more problems. So, we moved like 3 times whilst they were making a house that was that was appropriate for me. So it's been a bit of time of kind of just upheaval for the family and just focusing on trying to be a cohesive unit as a family. And now that we were settled in our forever home, as we've been calling it, this is where we are now. This is where we're going to grow old. It's appropriate for me. It's low level. It's set up for my disability. And now we're settled. This has given me a focus and a drive that I did feel like I was losing.
Right.
And, when the kids are at school, my wife had to stop working to be my carer because, there's times where I literally can't get up to go to the toilet and stuff like that. So it's given me a focus, which is kind of making everything around in the family better because I'm in a better mood. I think I'm happier. I'm not thinking about my pain and everything so much. And it's made everything better. And I'm loving doing what I'm doing.
Now, I really appreciate you expressing that too. I really appreciate you sharing that with my subscribers and your subscribers.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times we sit behind the screen and people don't know who we are personally, and I think it's important for them to know. You're a human being, man. You're not some government badass that's going to take out flatties.
No.
So I really appreciate you, just being candid about all that. I really do.
No worries. I mean, I want people to know that I'm honest and I'm open and that I've never got anything to hide. And that's why it amazed me when they doxed me and they found out that I had an old YouTube channel that my wife and I had. Again, that was something that we were doing to kind of occupy our minds because that was just at the start of the time where I couldn't really work anymore. And we both love video games. So we were like, fuck it, let's just have a laugh and make some videos and put it online. You know what? Some of them are awful. if you go to the Married to Xbox channel, there's some that are kind of funny and good because we had a humor and stuff. But some of the videos that like when we first started are absolutely awful. But I don't care if people go and see them because it's me and my wife having a laugh online together.
Yeah, exactly.
And somehow discovering that attacked me. And then because I was doing this Married to Xbox stuff, someone on one of the Facebook groups who runs a company called Esports, but he had a Facebook group called Xbox One Scotland. And we got talking and then he was like, I want to start an esports company. And he formed Esports Scotland. And because I had been doing this Married to Xbox, he was like, well, can you come and make a few YouTube channels for me? So my wife and I presented a couple of shows for them for their YouTube called Esports Scotland TV. And then when they doxed me, they got hold of this Esports Scotland TV, which is just a YouTube thing. And then the rumor went around that I'm actually a professional presenter and a professional social media star. And I'm like, I'm just helping a friend out,
So what if you were?
Yeah, but
who cares?
What if I was?
What does that have to do with anything?
Present a show and stuff. Again, how does that in any way discredit what I'm doing as an anti-flat earther? If anything, it shows that people actually like seeing me do stuff and wanted me to help them do what.
So you, some guy that's apparently some unknown social media expert, guy,
yeah,
as opposed to Ron. What's his name? Logan Paul.
Yeah,
I mean, they have Logan Paul in there, so come on, guys.
And so I just don't get how any of what they're doing with the personal stuff. I don't get how any of it is a win for them.
It's not. See, that's the whole thing. You just have to. It's been 2 years for me, so I'm so used to it. Like it just rolls off my back now. Like they're all gonna say my stuff's fake, no matter what I do. And I know
Yeah.
that. And so at some point I got to the point where I'm like, I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it because it's fun to take pictures. It's fun to see these cool things that you can't normally see. It's it's fun. It's fun for me for just plain photography, having nothing to do with flat Earth.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for me and my subs. That's it.
I don't think that a lot of 99% of the flat earthers, I don't think they're ever going to change their mind.
No,
and that's why, again, like you, I'm not doing it for them.
Right.
I'm doing it for the people that either want to laugh at the idiots or the people that are maybe on the fence and aren't sure.
Exactly.
And I hope, I would like to think that if they aren't sure and they come across channels like yours and mine and Red's Rhetoric and Simon Dan, I hope that we can help them.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that.
And yes, I know that I can get angry and I can shout and I can swear. And I've been working on bringing it back. I don't know if you saw my most recent debate on Non-Sequitur show, but I was as calm and level as I could be.
Right.
But there is some times when you just need to shout at these fucking idiots. Honestly. I'm debating a guy on Non-Sequitur show this Saturday called Edgewise. His whole thing is that dragons did it. And I'm not even kidding. He thinks the Earth, he thinks that when you look at Google Earth, which is a globe, I'm going to point out,
right,
and you zoom in on countries and stuff, that you can see the skulls and bodies of 1,000-mile-long dragons. That is one of them is along Africa, and it's biting a fish. And the eye of the Sahara, apparently that's the eye of an ancient massive fish. And he says that there's these ancient dragons. They spread the continents out, and that's what formed the Earth. And then he takes pictures of smoke and then runs it through an app that like flips it in on itself and fiddles about with it until he can see faces. And it's like, there you go. I've just proved that the Earth is flat.
And so he has no understanding that there's this thing called pareidolia where you can just kind of see things in shape. That is
right? He came on a couple of weeks ago onto Non-Sequitur show to debate me, but he actually ran away halfway through the debate. Like, he tried to hang up, and then for like a minute you can hear him going, how do you even hang up on this? It was hilarious. But that was my entire argument back then to him was, have you not heard of pareidolia?
Right.
And then he brings out a video that's titled Pareidolia, Is This Just a Coincidence? And it's literally 10 minutes of him showing videos of pareidolia. And
does he also look at clouds and think he sees bunnies?
Yeah, no, he thinks that some clouds are, again, if you take pictures of the clouds and run it through this app, he thinks that he sees this demonic face. And he says he thinks he sees the same one in all different things when he does this mirroring and fiddles about with it for a few minutes. And he says that
some esoteric bullshit right there.
Yeah, he says that it's proof that there's some higher entity permeating our universe, and that is what is creating our universe. You know what? If I got that app, I could take a photo of anything and make it look like anything.
Of course.
It's
ridiculous.
Yeah, but this is his whole argument. And if you look at his channel, and guys, you should, Edgewise. If you want a laugh, go and look at Edgewise's channel. And it is just like, he does a video nearly every day. And it's just him looking at stuff on Google Earth and going, it's a dragon, it's an eagle. Wow. it's hilarious.
Okay, well, it's been over an hour, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. I really do appreciate you coming. I don't feel like I've asked all my questions, but I try and limit the show to an hour anyway, so people actually watch it after the fact.
Thank you for having me.
Fight, thanks for coming, man. I really look forward to collabing with you in the future. And
yeah, definitely.
I wish you luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Speak to you there.